Hello, welcome to my videos on my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the Steelers' loss against the Houston Texans 36 tonight on NFL 2025 playoff Wildcard Round. Well, tonight the Steelers already played his playoff game against the Houston Texans in the NFL 2025 playoff AFC Wildcard Round, where unfortunately the Steelers couldn't compete and lost against the Houston Texans easily 36. So let's talk about a little more about this game. Well, remember that the Steelers won the AFC North with a 10-7 record, and they finished it as a 4 set in the AFC, and the Houston Texans finish in the second place in the AFC South. They finished in the fifth place in the fifth set in the AFC. So for the reason the Steelers played against the Houston Texans tonight on the Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The last time that the Steelers and the play against the Texans was one season ago, where in the NFL 2025 season week 4, the Texans defeated the Steelers for the same score tonight, 36. But the difference is that that game was played in Houston. So about this game, to be honest, my prediction was that the Houston Texans were gonna to win this game by more than 10-point difference. But to be honest, the Texans and dominate the game. They had an easy game, and to be honest, the Texans dominated the game from the beginning to the end, and only because the Texans offenses didn't play a very great football in the first two quarters, the Texans should have won this game easily in the first quarter, where the Steelers could compete until the fourth quarter, where in the whole time the Steelers were trailing 7-6 by 1 point difference, because the Steelers had only scored 2 field goals and the Texans had scored a touchdown. Where in the sorry, in the end of the third quarter, the in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Steelers were trailing only by 1 point difference, and the Steelers still had the opportunity to win this game. Even though I told you the Texans were dominated all the game. But what happened? The big difference happened in the fourth quarter, where the Texans show why in this moment they are one of the best team in the league. They remember that they closed the season with 9 consecutive victories, and here was the difference, where in the fourth quarter the Texans scored 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal. The two of these two touchdowns were turnover from the Steelers, where they recovered a fumble, and they returned to touchdown, and they recovered an interception and scored a touchdown, a pick six, and later they scored another touchdown, and they won this game easily, 36. How I told you, it was an easy game for the Texans, and the Steelers couldn't compete. To be honest, the Steelers only had the opportunity to win this game in the beginning of the fourth quarter, because the Texans offenses was playing a very bad football in the first 3 quarters. But after that, after the Texans defenses decide to play the best football, they won this game easily. So with this loss, the Steelers are officially eliminated from the NFL 2025 playoff. So about the overall statistics, you know the Houston Texans dominated the game. They had a 408 total yards, 244 passing yards, and 164 rush yards. So it was a big difference. And about the Steelers offenses, they only have 175 total yards. Yeah, 175 total yards, 112 by passing, and only 63 by yards. So the Steelers couldn't compete. And about the big difference is something that the Lakers, the Steelers didn't took advantage, because the Houston Texans had Three turnovers, yeah, three turnovers, two fumbles, no, yeah, two fumbles and one interception, and the Steelers only could convert 3 points of the turnover of the Houston turnover. So here was the big difference because the the Steelers had two turnovers, one fumble and one interception, and the Houston Texans scored 14 points. So you can see here about the turnovers. The Houston Texans scored 14 points from the turnovers, and the Steelers only scored 3 points, and that was the big difference. But one of the big difference, but in the end, how I told you, the Houston Texans dominated the game from the beginning to the end, and they won this game easily. So now with this loss, the Steelers, who I told you, are officially eliminated from this season, and this is the this is the seventh straight game that the Steelers can win in playoff, and the Steelers haven't been able to win a playoff game since 2016. So this is the seventh straight loss in the playoffs. Is the one and goal, and the worst news is that the Steelers all this in this streak, in this losing streak, the Steelers have lost by more than 10 point difference. So I don't know what is gonna to happen. I think, to be honest, that it's time that the Steelers can move on from the Mike Tomlin, because it looks like that the Steelers are not gonna to win or compete, or minimum to compete in the playoff. The Steelers haven't been able to win a playoff game since 2016, and I don't know what is going to happen. But if I was the the Steelers owner, my decision will be to fire or to move on from Mike Tomlin, because it looks like that he has reached his Peter level, and he's not gonna to improve this team. So what happened in this season? The Steelers struggle a lot, but in the end they qualified to the playoff. They won the AFC North Title for first time since 2020 with a 10-7 record. We remember that they defeated the Baltimore Ravens in the Week 18 the last week. So I don't know what is going to happen in this offseason. I don't know if the Steelers are going to move on from McTominay. I suppose that this is the right decision, but I don't know what Mr. Rooney is gonna to do. The most probably is that the most probably of the right decision will be to move on from Mike Tomlin, but I don't know what is going to happen. But also, the another question, if Mr. Rooney decides to move on from Mike Tomlin, who is gonna to he's gonna to be the next the Steelers new next head coach, and let's see what is gonna to happen. Remember that it's gonna to be a lot of movement, because the most probably that the Aaron Rodgers is gonna to return, or he's not gonna to return to play with. He's not gonna to return because he's gonna to retire, the most probably. And if he's not gonna to retire, the most probably is that he's not gonna to play with the team. So let's see what happened. Remember that I'm gonna to talk about the Steelers season until the 2025 NFL season that is gonna to start until September of the year. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comments or questions, you can write me in my social media platform. So see you next video.